A few minutes ago, I chatted with Ryanair's boss, Michael O'Leary, and I started by asking him whether he understood the government's travel rules.
No, and I think most of the UK population doesn't understand them either, Robert, but I'm happy to say that for about the past 4 weeks, they've been booking in their droves. Mainly, I think they're booking into June, July, August and September. People are ignoring the short-term restrictions and working out that they'll be safe to fly in late June, July, August when the school holidays come round. And they're booking in there literally hundreds of thousands on a daily basis.
I mean, the Prime Minister has said today, and it's been echoed by the Health Secretary, that we really shouldn't be going to amber list countries. Are British people following that? Actually, it's an order.
I don't think they're following it, but to be fair, I mean, I think the general view, thanks to the success of the vaccination programme, not just in the UK, but a vaccination programme that's catching up rapidly in Europe, people are working out that these amber zones will be green by the time we get to the end of June and by the time they're returning in July and August. And I think people are conscious of booking their summer holidays now with the kids before the flights become fully booked.
And so just to be clear, we're not actually going to know for about 3 weeks who else is on the green list. That's not destroying your business. People are basically making their own judgments and ignoring the government.
Yeah, I think everybody's reading the trends of vaccinations, both in the UK, you're now up at 60% of the population have received first dose vaccines. Most of Europe will have received at least first dose vaccines, 80% of the population by the end of June. And people are pretty sure at this point in time that it'll be safe to travel end of June, come back in July. I think there'll be no restrictions on intra-EU or travel between the UK and Europe.
And just to be clear, you would be hopeful, would you, that, because there seems to be some doubt about it, that the EU will put the UK on the safe travel list?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt. I think actually they won't wait for the EU. Portugal has done it already. The Greeks and the Italians are about to lift restrictions on UK visitors. To be fair, I mean, I think it's just recognition of the outstanding success of the UK vaccination programme and that it's perfectly safe for UK visitors to visit European beaches in Portugal, Spain, Greece and Italy this summer.
And so just tell me now, obviously you'll have had quite strong bookings to Portugal, one assumes, because it's on the green list, but which of the amber list countries at the moment are being favoured particularly by the British?
Yeah, there was a big surge in Portugal about 2 weeks ago when it first went on the green list. But actually, there's much faster growth now in bookings to Spain, to Italy, to France and to Greece, particularly the Greek islands, over the past week or 10 days. And each day, the rate and pace of these forward bookings, mainly during the school holidays, is accelerating.
But are many people, because obviously it's not illegal to go to an amber list country, are many people actually going to amber list countries now?
Not yet. I mean, remember, most of the airlines have very little capacity operating in May. We've another week to go before we get to the end of May. Most of us have stepped up our flight schedules for the first 2 weeks of June. They double again in the last 2 weeks of June. So most of the booking activity we're seeing in the last week or 10 days, Robert, has been for the second half of June into July, when I think there's a high degree of confidence that the amber list countries, the main tourism destinations, will have converted to green and vice versa. And
just on this issue of testing, you're offering, I think, a £60 deal on testing. Is that right?
What we've done at every airport we operate and every country we operate, we've listed or put up lists of tests that are available at whatever are the best prices are available locally. And there's free tests available in the UK. The prices vary by country. But as testing becomes more widely available, the price is coming down. But we're pretty confident that by the end of June or July, there will be no requirement for testing or PCR testing because most European countries will be accepting vaccination certificates.
But just to be clear, particularly with younger people, where there won't be vaccination certificates available because they won't have had the vaccines, you haven't got a plan to essentially offer free tests to people?
No. I mean, at the fares we're charging, we couldn't afford to offer free tests. But we're pretty confident that as demand for tests comes down, as the rate of vaccinations rise, the cost of testing will come down. And we're fairly sure at this point in time that most of the main European holiday destinations will allow the children accompanying vaccinated adults in without any PCR or vaccination requirements for the summer period. Remember, last year, even before there was vaccines, there was a huge decline in COVID cases during the peak summer months. We think that will be augmented and repeated, but with the strength of widespread vaccine availability this June, July and August.
As always, good to see you. But striking that you're so cheerful, given that the Prime Minister is broadly telling British people not to travel abroad. Interesting that they seem to be ignoring the Prime Minister. Anyway, come back soon.
Good to talk to you, Robert.